Welcome back to the Ace Automotive Performance Podcast. What is it?
Ace Performance Podcast.
Ace Performance Podcast.
We'll get that right next episode.
We're just about the performance. We're not about the auto.
Yeah.
And today we've got a guest with us, Casey Irvin, Swirv and Irvin.
AKA Swirv. It named me. I didn't name
We're
it.
gonna have to, we're gonna have to ask about that story where that name came from.
It didn't come from me.
So we're gonna talk about some cool stuff that Casey's working on coming up in the next couple of months. A road rally that's coming up, and welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. It'll be fun.
Yeah. So where did Swirv come from? Where'd that name come from?
So back in the day, my last name's Irvin. Everyone started calling me Swervin' Irvin. And then we came up with, shortened it down to Swirv, and it stuck with it, and everyone thought it was funny. And then I bought my car, and I said, I'm going to put it on my plate, so I'll think it's funny, and turn it back on. And then they didn't believe the car, and then I showed up with it. I said, joke's on y'all.
Yeah.
But it goes back.
Did the name come from a driving style or?
Maybe. Whole lot of tickets. Yeah.
What do we have?
Oh, you are putting together a road rally.
Yes, so came up with Rosso Rally, which we've all helped out, and everybody with the team that's come together to develop it. I do a lot of rallies that are out of state, go a long ways. I just got done off Crown Invitational. Had to drive all the way to Chicago, and then we put 4,000 miles in 9 days on the car. Solid.
That's intense.
Yes.
In any car.
Any car.
But
yes.
especially in the car that you were driving.
Yes. The wife did not like that. She said, we're probably taking the Cadillac next. She did not like driving from Tennessee to Texas with a helmet between her legs. No, but so I just came up here since I moved here to Lubbock and doing rallies on the regular and car stuff in the car community. What I'm used to, I just decided we're driving out to look at a property, and the roads were like real nice, and we went through some canyons and stuff, and I decided, you know what, we have to drive 5 hours one way or the other to get to a rally, and then drive 2 or 3 days on that rally, and wherever we end up, we got to turn around and come back. And I decided, you know what, I'm going to shoot from the hip, and I'm going to do my own thing.
Yeah.
And come out here, and then just reached out and got it developed, and hopefully this first year turns out really good. We got a lot of feedback on it.
When is the rally?
April 26th.
April 26th.
And I want to give a shout out to our sponsors. We got a title sponsor, Ashley Laycock with Revolution Mortgage. We got Turpin and Associates Insurance. We have our finish line that's gonna be at Mears Mazda, and then they are also sponsoring the lunch.
Okay.
So they're double whamming on that one. Got Ghost Films out of Salt Lake City, and then Condor Property Group helping out with developing a lot of stuff. And then 5 Nights, Ace Auto here with developing also, Lynn Lubbock, Kennedy Detail. And there's a couple others that are out there too.
Awesome.
Everyone's pitching in and coming together to get this event to pop off. Still working on a couple more, but hoping to.
So what's the different events? What all's going to happen that weekend? Is it's a couple of days, or is it just the drive on?
So it's just one day that we're having since it's year one. Everything turns out it's developed, then we'll work into maybe 3 days next year, figure it out, get it developed, have it to where everyone knows where it is, because we pretty much pulled this out in 6 months.
That's what my next question was. How long has everything been kind of cooking?
It's been quick.
Yeah.
Going around, content, building the page, getting your name out there, and everyone else. There's a lot of rallies out there, so you got to show out yourself to show that you can put on a good one, which we have the airstrip. We got a 5,000 foot airstrip that's a private residence, and then we have the stay at the Cotton Court with the dinner, breakfast, lunch, and dinner is included. 400 miles of mountain road. It's going to be very intense for one day. I guarantee you're going to be at the end of the day wondering what just happened.
Yeah.
400 miles is it's a long 1 day rally, really.
Yes.
I mean, it's especially if it's packed with curves and everything. Like that one that we went on just recently down in Austin wasn't even close to that.
No.
And it was,
I think it was maybe 90 miles.
yeah. And it was intense. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was a lot of driving. It felt like we drove all day. By
Yes.
the end of it, it was like it was truly exhausting, and I only drove 2 miles probably.
And your eyes are probably dried out, and your shoulders
Yeah.
are hurting, and because you can't stop, it's like, what's going on over here? Because
Yeah,
I can't
yeah.
even look.
Yeah.
It's just enough to. I mean, like I was going through like the navigation paper while he was driving, and it was just everything I had to kind of pay attention to what was going on. And okay, we got this coming up, and this is gonna be in the route in a minute here, and it comes up so fast that it's like, holy. All right, yeah, that was the huge pothole they were talking about. We just hit
Yes.
it. So-
And when it really gets fun is when everyone's turning to exit and you blow the exit. If you're on a spaghetti bowl in Fort Worth or Dallas or Chicago or Nashville and you blow it and you're going this way and the rally's going the opposite direction,
God.
then it really gets intense.
Yeah.
This sounds like experience.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
yes. I plan on not being the follower, even though I ended up being the follower a lot of the times. Yes.
Well, and that's what we noticed on that
Leader.
that last one is we're like, you know what? We're gonna get behind the guy that's putting this thing
Yeah,
on because it's like we started getting like miles back there to where it was like, we don't even know if we're supposed to turn here.
Yeah, you
or
end up
not.
behind,
We're just
like,
following this guy.
A first timer, and
Yeah.
you're only going as fast as the slowest guy in the
Yeah,
group.
we've ended up
Yeah.
to where it's Ys or Vs, and you're on 2 different interstates, and half the group's over here, and the other half's here. And the only way to keep track of it is you got your GPS, a live GPS, and you can see where the groups are at and who's falling behind or who had a blowout, who blew their engine, who's doing what, they're stuck or something.
Yeah.
And we actually had it to where a manhole, so someone was going so fast that they blew the manhole cover off the road, and then the cars were hitting the manhole.
No.
Holy
Holy cow.
That's
There
F1
was
stuff
like
there.
there was like 2 cars that hit it, so it wasn't that tragic. But yeah, it was one
I
of
guess
those
it depends on
things.
what kind of cars they were.
Yeah, they're probably Honda Civics, I'm sure.
Yeah. But it was one of those things you drive by and look at it and like, did I just see that?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
pretty intense.
So,
Yeah.
so Rosa Rally will be Friday night at Cotton Court Hotel on the
Check in.
Is that the 25th or the 24th?
That's the 25th.
25th.
Check in, get your livery put on, stay the night if you want. Some people drive in because of location and do it early in the morning. There'll be some give and take on depending on the location of the people that are coming.
Right.
Yes.
So have dinner at Cotton Court.
Yes.
Kind of have a little get together, hang out.
Yes,
time.
have the chef will have everything set up and
Yeah,
everybody
Chef
be there.
Angie.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, she's phenomenal.
Yes, I'm excited.
That'll be
for
good.
it.
That'll be
We'll
fun.
have some good videos from the airstrip and
Yeah.
stuff put up on there and make it fun.
Right.
Live music. Everybody have a good time to relax. My intention is nobody wants to see their car again after that day.
Yeah, yeah.
That is my intention on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the goal.
So when you've gone on, how many rallies have you been on?
10 plus.
How have you really? Wow.
Yes.
That's a lot. Like all over the U.S. Any outside the U.S.
I haven't been on the East Coast.
Okay.
Yes, I'd like to go on the East Coast at one point in time, but
Yeah.
I've been pretty much everywhere else.
So
on the
what's-
central to the west.
What's the craziest situation you've seen on a road rally?
The last one I went on with Devil's Back or Tail of the Dragon.
Okay. Yeah.
That just blew my mind.
That's
Okay.
wild, isn't it?
I have a whole new respect for NASCAR. Because everyone's like, oh, there's NASCAR, they're going in circles, and who cares? Well, 1 inch can justify everything on
Yeah.
that. And it's one of those things that you're going, and it's not that you're going so fast, it's just how fast the turns are. Because it's like
Yeah.
you don't even break 60 miles an hour.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the G's you're pulling
Oh, yeah.
60.
On
And-
a hairpin turn.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, and hearing the tread change on your tires, like you go from, you can literally tell from one point of tread on your tires to where you're grabbing another point of tread, and where it just, and you feel it pull. I mean, I was so committed on a turn one time, and a motorcycle driver was coming in. He was on a crotch rocket, and he was committed, and we were just like in sync.
Yeah.
Neither one of us could do anything. Well, I mean, it was all fine, but it was one of those things. Once you're in and you have everyone, you just think you're in the front of that NASCAR pack. Everything you do is domino effect behind you. And interstate. I mean, you do anything on there. My wife's never been on a rally. That was her first one. And we're just driving on the interstate, and she's like, why are we cruising like this? And I was like, she goes, there's nobody in front of us. I said, look in your mirror. It's nothing but 50 cars behind us. And she goes, why are we in front? And I said, I don't know, because I always end up here. And then they're like, you did great. I was like, yeah, I wish y'all would too. Come on up, I'll show it.
Yeah.
So how often do people end up with blown engines and stuff on a rally? And,
Not often. You really, everyone has a hype of that. The best thing you can do is like see someone that has never been on a rally before, and they get in there and they don't know what to expect, and they see different types of people wearing different types of clothes, talk different. Everyone's from different part of the world and doing different, and you're just like, man, this guy's weird or something like that. And 2 days later, y'all are best friends. Hey, come out here or come see my house, or we're coming over here. The wives link up, everybody. Yep. You're hanging out at dinner, and your whole, if you look back at day 1 versus day 4, it's night and day. Yeah. I mean, it's a whole different perspective. Once you sit there and start talking to people, you'll have your people that are super nice and chatty. You have the wild ones, and super wild ones. You'll have guys that are driving down the interstate in family traffic, and somebody put a purple rubber ding dong on the front of their car, and they have no idea about it. And there's kids, the school bus right there, and you got this Huracan with a flopping dong on the front, and has no idea about it until the day's over, and he gets out to get gas. And, you just sit there, and whenever you get gas, you do a 360 check. You're like, where is everybody?
Yeah.
Because the guy that is in a hurry or running late, he's getting something stuck. And then you'll be right beside him, flopping in the wind. Oh my gosh. And you can't stop. I mean, it's just crazy. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different, I guess you'd say, technicalities to it. Yeah. Like what really got me was, so we got with some guys from Wisconsin, and my wife was there, and we're at a gas station, and there's 4 of us, and we stopped there just to get gas and stretch and everything. And so this lady and her son came over. I submitted this to VinWiki to see if we could get it on there. Yeah, they said they weren't filming. I guess I'm not cool. I'll remember that when I am cool. You're not getting my story. And so we're at this gas station, and we're all just hanging out. We're all from different states. We're all just cruising together. We all have radios. And we're getting gas, and this lady comes up with her kid, and he's like, "This is my favorite car." And y'all know me. I'm like, "Get in." You know, I don't care. I mean, I've been there. That's where I came from. Sitting there, no, I'm never gonna be there. Right. And that's why I do a lot of this stuff, and haul my kids around too, take them. But like, so she came over there, and he got to see a bunch of the cars. There was a Viper, a BMW, and they're just checking them all out. And her son, and she's like, "Can you wait for a minute? My husband's coming." And he likes cars and the car community. We never see cars like this in our area, much less do the people talk to us. They're like, "We are so blown away that y'all are so nice to the kids and talk to us and just hang out for a minute and give us a minute." And we're like, "Oh yeah, that's cool. It's nothing. We're all a good group. We weren't someone that's just gonna blow and go." Which there are those guys that do that, and they tend to weed themselves into their own group. You get auto-populated, and you don't even realize it. Yeah. And then, so he shows up, and we didn't even know it, but he's a preacher. And so he came over, he's like, "Can you guys gather around here?" And we're like, "Oh yeah." So he goes, "I'm gonna say a prayer for y'all." That's awesome. And then you could just it's like cool. Time stops. I mean, you're sitting there, everyone's bowed. All these people just met each other the day before, don't know anything about each other. Our whole families are there, there's kids and the family, and he's praying. Thank you for letting them be very nice and cool. And he just, I wish I recorded it. I mean, there's people in tears at the end of it, and then it just like changes everybody's outlook on everything because of what it can do to somebody.
Right.
That is like all you do is have this car.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's all it is a car, and it's like life changing to someone else, and you don't ever realize it because you see it every day, and it's just like whatever. I gotta fix this damn thing.
Right.
You know something. You know.
Yeah.
Or you got someone that's sitting there like, oh, you're cool.
Right.
You know, you got your haters, but I mean, they're sitting there. A couple guys are in tears. They're like, man, that was beautiful. I mean, I've never been like anything. He's like, let them protect them on their journey and go. We just let them get in the cars, redline them, and let the kids play. And all this stuff. Didn't ask them for nothing. I mean, just let them hang out and made their day. I mean, it was something like that catches you off guard that you don't ever expect, and it changes your whole outlook on what the community is, and then everybody comes together, and the wives link up, and then all the next thing you know, hey, we're going to Chicago. So why? Remember those people? We're going to meet them and hang out. We're going up
That's
there.
awesome.
We're doing this, but we're not driving. We're gonna fly. That car's staying here.
They're picking us up at the airport.
I got a rental and I'm paying for it. Yeah. I mean, I like driving because mine sits in the garage. I've had it for 5-6 years now, and I bought it on a whim. And I always liked cars, but I got it. And then once I got it, I tell everyone, man, don't forget where you came from. I was like, it'll kill you. I was like, you gotta always remember what you didn't have and what you do have and what you're gonna do with it. I'm a firm believer in that. There's gas stations, some kid sitting there looking. I'm like, come here, Dad, look at this. Go over there, and then the dad's like, man, that is so cool that you let them do that. I was like, get in, check it out, take a picture, do all that. And some people, they frown upon it, and it's like, man, it's not my fault. You know, I'm just trying to be the cool guy. I remember the first supercar I saw was a Dodge Viper. I was on my bicycle, and it was at a Pizza Hut in Llano. I'm from Llano, Texas. Small town, grew up rodeo, and everything, just got in the cars. But I went up there and talked to him. I was like, man, this is so cool. And here I am on my bicycle. I was like, what do you do? He goes, I buy and sell used equipment. I was like, man, that's cool. And he's like, yeah. And then he's like, I got to cut it short. Got to go. And then I was just like, you know, I'm going to sit there and talk to people if I ever get there. Yeah. And I'm going to let them check it out.
It creates an opportunity
to
connect with people. And you're right. I think there's a lot of just expectation that people that drive a car like that are not going to be that kind of cool and
there's
engaged, but there are a lot of them.
Yeah, you can. I mean, I'm bottom of the barrel. There's guys that are up there that some are cool, some aren't cool. If you see on my page, I mean, there's some that are cool and they're inviting and they just don't overstep their boundaries like paparazzi would, and just ask before you touch. You know, and usually it's pretty cool. But there's I get a lot of rejection. Out of one acceptance, I probably got like 100 rejections. So I mean, it's like, oh, there's a lot. Well, those 3 probably took 300. To get in there, to get in that door. There's a lot to it.
So what is your car? Tell us a little bit about what you drive.
So I have a 2004 Lamborghini Gallardo, and we got it wrapped. It has a straight pipe exhaust on it, custom to the center exit. We have Sadistic Ironworks, chassis mount wing. The engine is stock, and we got KW coilovers.
We can fix that.
I feel a rebuild. After that last trip, I feel a rebuild coming soon. And then, KW coilovers with the air cups. I got 4-point airlift on it, and it's slammed with 22-inch 3-piece Asanis on the rear and 20-inch 3-piece Asanis on the front. Wanting to go to 20s and 20s and get away from the 22 for a little bit smoother ride.
You notice a big difference on those 22s.
Yeah, I do. Especially around here, Chicago, Oklahoma City and Chicago were brutal. I mean, my suspension is real loose because of the airlift, so it doesn't blow the seals for whenever it lifts, because it lifts so fast. I don't want to ruin those because there's $5,000.
Oh yeah.
But those powder coated calipers, let me tell you something about those.
Those calipers.
Your color. What's your color combination on this car?
So we got a gray wrap. It's like a stealth Air Force gray. That's glossed on top of the black paint with the green accents and pinstripes and powder coated calipers. which Ace did rebuild.
Those calipers
Still holding up. Getting
were
ready for some
something
rotors.
special. They were something special.
Getting ready for some rotors and brakes now.
Yeah.
That was the first time they ever got hot. Whenever we were in Tennessee, that was pretty gnarly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was cool.
I've been doing some research. I'll have to. We'll talk about that in a later episode. But I've been doing some research on the life of brake fluid and how hot it gets, and
That's a good.
it's different.
That's a good thing. So
It's crazy.
I replaced the brake fluid in my C8 Corvette whenever I was going to the track with dot five. I can't. What's race fluid considered? Dot
I have a
6.
blue container. It's like E something. Is
Well,
that
you've
line?
got your regular be dot 3 and dot 4. There's dot 4 hybrids of all kinds. You know, there's just different. It's basically different formulations of dot 4. Dot 5 is mainly just for a. It's mainly, well, the only thing I know lately that they put, and they don't even use it anymore. They used to use it in Harleys on
okay.
everything.
Okay.
Dot 5 is severely corrosive. You get it on anything, and it's
Right.
going to just melt
yeah.
paint, melt anything you put it on.
Yeah.
So everything, all the standards try to stay as far as they can away from that dot 5.
Okay.
But there's a million different formulations of dot 4 and obviously different brands and stuff
Yeah.
like that a lot of people use. But dot 4 is
I don't
basically
remember which one I used, but I had to go pick up from a race shop a high boiling point.
It was probably like, a high boiling point like Pentacin dot 4 plus or something like that. Yeah.
How big of a deal would it be to need to do that if you're doing road rallies versus track? Because you're
Doing a road rally, I would do it after every single one.
but
after what I was just reading.
a high boiling point
Yep.
brake fluid is necessary, even
Absolutely.
for a road rally.
Yep, absolutely. Yep, because I mean, especially if it's somewhere like in Austin where we were, or something like Tail of the Dragon where he was at, something like that, you are getting those brakes probably 3 times hotter than you're ever going to get in the heat of Texas running around town.
Sure. Yeah.
Just because you're on them, off them,
Right.
constantly, and it just boils that brake fluid.
And
Yeah.
if you're a rally guy, do not ride the brakes. And try to float through it. Don't bring the brake out.
The guy in front of us, the rally leader, he was in a Honda S2000. We were trying to figure out if he had a brake kill switch because we never saw him get on his brakes.
You gotta float it out.
But I think we finally saw him use his brakes, and we realized I don't think he's using a kill switch. I think he's just using his gears to float.
Yeah.
That was high gear.
It was a stick shift, and you could tell the car was diving. So he was either engine braking the hell out of it, or he was, like we were talking about. We're like, does he have a switch that he's turning his brake lights off so nobody sees that his brake lights are on, or so they don't freak out and see brake lights, or what is he doing? Because you can see the car, deliberately going into a corner and just diving, but it's that little 4-banger car. You're never going to hear it if it's screaming, 7,000 RPMs, is downshifting. So that had to be what he was, just engine braking the hell out of that thing.
No, regardless if you see a cop right in front of you, or you're in the front, or you're in a pack, take your ticket. No, it's better off that way than you have to. But I mean, that being said, everyone thinks about speed limit. Well, sometimes you speed a lot, but a lot of times you don't.
Yeah.
That's why I was saying, like, we were barely, I was in second gear the whole time through the Tail of the Dragon.
Yeah.
It's not like everyone's going, you're doing 200. No, I'm sitting here doing left and right.
Yeah, you're trying to survive.
Yeah, I'm
That's
doing
what you're
left,
doing.
right, up, down, and wondering where my ass is or my shoulders are at because I'm in an S shape over here, late sucked into the door. Yeah. And so there's a whole different perspective to it, but yeah, you do have to pay attention to a lot of stuff, and don't slide over to the side of the road and throw rocks on someone's car. Don't do any of that stuff. I mean, you just got to be cool, because you do get kicked out and you get a bad name, you ain't gonna get back in.
Well, and what really caught me, like, I guess I didn't think about it before, the tour master on that rally that we went on. mentioned it was, he's like, if you're going to pass somebody, make sure that you hit the gas, get way ahead of the car behind you, and then switch lanes.
Yes, make sure you.
And I was like, totally didn't think about that. Yeah, so you don't kick rocks everywhere all over that guy when you switch lanes, you know. And I was like, makes so much sense now that I think about it, you know.
Yeah.
So what makes a road rally so, like, why do people enjoy doing road rallies? Like, compared to, have you ever gone and done track days?
I did once.
So
Yes.
what makes a road rally appeal to you more than going to the racetrack?
The group, like, you can go drive your car. You can have the coolest car in the world, and you're driving by yourself. It's kind of like having a jet ski. It's better to be in a boat with everybody else instead of sitting in there on your jet ski, floating around the lake. And oh, cool, this is great. I wish I had a fishing pole or something. You know, you get an itinerary, and these guys are like, okay, we're gonna go here. And like I said, you auto shift yourself, because you got some guys that are gonna try to push the limit and have fun with their cars, and they do it a lot. They know their car inside out. They're set up for stuff, and then they have custom builds. They've been on a track, so it's really not that big of a deal for them. Then you got some that are the medium group. They do a little do the speed limit or cruise and like stay in their group. Though you got the wives and everybody's talking on the radios and they're just having a good time, you know. And then you got some people that are the older folks that are just there to. If the old guy has his McLaren and he just wants to go drive it, be a part of something, you know. And usually one of the coolest people you've ever met, and just sitting there, a guy telling you all his stories that you didn't know, or sit there at a lunch table. You'll sit at a table like this and be with this group, and then you show up late, something happened, and then you end up with this group, and it does it on its own. You don't ever choose it. You know, you get put in different situations, and then they just like unfold, and you'll usually 90% of the time you're gonna meet some cool people. Everyone's gonna have fun. They're gonna be like, man, what was going on here? Or did you see that? Or we were coming here, and all the cars are loud. It doesn't mean you're going fast.
Sure. Yeah.
We went through some neighborhoods and second gear, and then a person comes out yelling or something, and you're just like, my Dodge is louder than this, you know. And it just comes with territory on it, though.
So it sounds like it's all about the social aspect. The road rallies are more of a social event.
Yes, and you'll meet people in like different industries. Like, so you'll say you got your car, and this guy over here makes exhaust, and he's like, man, check this out. And next thing you know, you're ordering one from him. Some guy's sitting there looking at his car. He's like, I'm gonna sell this one. Well, how much you want for it? Well, so I don't have to fly home. I'll sell it for this much. Next thing you know, you got another car.
That's dangerous.
Or it's like, hey man, I live in the desert. Okay, well, I live on the ocean and I have a boat. Well, the next thing you know, you're out on a boat. You're not in a desert anymore. All just because everybody came, or there's 50 spots, so there's 100 people. And it's just because 100 people came together out of all different areas of the world. Some people are stretching it to be there. Some people are flying by. They got 4 cars. They're going to 4 different rallies. This one's at this outfit. This one's over here at this rally. This one's getting shipped here. And that's all they're doing. They're just playing this. They're like, this is my month. I'm going and driving all my cars, and they're all getting shipped, and then I'll send them to the shop. Or I got a performance shop. Hey, I got a turbo kit for that, and I'll cut you a deal on it. Next thing you know, you got a turbo kit you're putting on. There are tires, wheels, friends, maybe meet your wife. You never know. Who knows what happens? I mean, it's endless possibilities, and you never know until you go.
That's cool.
And like the people that are there the first time, I mean, it's cool to see it develop, and then they get it, and once they get it, they want to go again, and they want to see, and they want to meet new people. They want to sit there and socialize, and you don't even have to have. You could just be sitting just like this, nothing fancy, and all the guys are humble. He's got a $500,000 car outside, but he's sitting here in shorts and flip flops, and has a dumbest hat on in the world, but he's the coolest guy you ever met.
Why are you looking at me when you say dumbest hat on? Jeez.
but he ends up being your best friend. You're going to each other's wedding or family stuff, or coming over and hanging out for the holidays or something. Like, oh hey, I got a ski place over here. Do you want to come? Bring the kids. And it cool. Just unfolds. I mean, it blooms is that's a better word for it. It blooms. I mean, it just depends on how you take it and how your attitude is.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
But you will run into multiple personalities. I mean,
Right,
you do have
right.
some guys that are the jokesters, and then you'll have the guys that are super serious, or
Right.
you'll have the guys that are cool and laid back, and then you have the ones that are wanting to go party. It depends on who you're getting with, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Same anywhere you go, with the same stuff.
Yeah.
Now, what made you choose your car? What was the driving factor in buying your car?
Well, I came across my car.
It was by chance.
Yes, it was by chance. I was not shopping for it. And then guy had it there. He's like, I have a Lambo. I was like, okay, cool. I mean, I'm not starstruck or nothing. I was like, but let's go see it.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's check this thing out.
That's cool. I don't believe you. Let's go prove a point. And
Yeah.
then he's over there and he's like, I'm going to go get a Venador. Okay. Well, what are you going to do with this one? Well, it's on 4 flat tires. Because you haven't driven. He goes, oh, no, I just get it in, rev it up, and turn it off. And that was before the mods were done and stuff. And he's like, I'm going to sell it. I was like, well, how much you want for it? He told me, and I was like, well, I'll come get it in 3 days. He's like, yeah, whatever. All my buddies tell me that. I was like, just give me a minute. And came back 3 days, and I was like, all right, let's get this deal done. He's like, oh, shoot, you're serious.
Did you bring an air tank?
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, you got those tires aired up?
Yeah.
He's like, you got insurance?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then no, I just got it, and then took it home, and it's kind of surreal, you know. Didn't believe it, and had it, and then I was like, I wonder how long this is gonna last. Am I actually gonna be able to make this happen? And which it was fine. I totally afforded it, but like just having it, and then he's like, get ready for the Hollywood phase, and I was like,
Right.
what does that mean? He goes, you'll see. Go get it on the interstate. Yeah, the people literally run you off the road trying to be near you and see stuff, regardless of what it is. And I finally realized what it is, and now I'm totally defense on it and try
Yeah.
to play it down. If I see someone that's, hey, wave at them or something like that, or I'll just rip and get away from them, you know, and try to be cool with them. But yeah, so I bought it then, and then I figured I'd pay it off or get a Huracan or something, but I just realized how much traffic, like everyone likes it.
Yeah.
And regardless, it's a 2004, super cheap insurance now.
Yeah. It's almost a classic.
Yeah,
now.
it is. It's registered as one.
Is it really?
Oh yeah. I
Awesome.
called them the day after. When it turned that month was over, I was like, hey, remember we talked about this?
That's so crazy. Like we look back at like
Yeah.
now that stuff even, you know, remotely resembling something like that. It's like, you know, when you grow up with that stuff, you know, even as young adult, me in my young adult phase was, you know, I mean, that was a brand new car.
That was when I graduated,
Right.
2004.
Yeah, I graduated in 01. So it's like that was brand new stuff
Right.
when we were adults.
Right.
So yeah, to think about that being a classic
it
now,
was
it's crazy.
but it gets like so much attention that I didn't realize it, and then just started messing with it and decided I'm gonna keep it, and then I'll just buy another one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever I get ready, I'll just buy one.
Now, how long from the time you bought it till the time you changed everything on it was there?
That was a process over years.
Yeah.
I just do one little thing at a time. Except for last year, I put it on the lift and we took everything apart. That's whenever we did the caliper.
Well, that's why I'm asking you that, because I don't even remember ever seeing that car around Lubbock until after we did that.
Yeah, because it was a satin black, and then I didn't have the wing on there. I just had the SL wing on there until I went to Utah. I lived up there for a year. Was big in the car community up there with those guys. Awesome people. If you ever get a chance to go to a car meet in Salt Lake City, man, do it.
Well, you just went back there recently, didn't you?
Yes,
Yeah,
just went
that's
there
what I
for a
thought.
week, yeah. When a lot of friends were out of town, but I'll meet up with them again. I'll be back.
Yeah,
Which I go up there. I went up there for work, is what I did.
yeah,
And took it up there and just met people. Now I got friends there. You know, and
Yeah.
it's just it opens doors in a different area. You could turn it into if you're a superstar, you can hang with superstars, or if you're this, you can do this. No, it's just kind of a little bit of a door opener because you can be turned away just as fast as anything else.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be like this guy now or something, which it's not. I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's not like a group, but if you get someone, what do you do for work? What do you do here? What'd you do? You know, 20 questions, and you're out.
Yeah.
You're too deep into my business, man. I don't have any.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, but I mean, I'm not going to take you around with me. Or
Yeah.
something like that.
I'm not hiring you tomorrow.
No, but you have a better shot going, hey man, cool car, can I have a ride?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll take it for
Yeah.
a ride.
Let's go.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
do that. Cool.
Just be cool.
Yeah, just calm down. I'm nobody, trust me.
Yeah.
And then it's crazy, like, well, I didn't use my garage at my house then, and that car sat in the garage, and I'd always drive my Tahoe. I had an '08 Tahoe, drove it everywhere, loved it. And then I had to go in the garage for something like, oh shit, there's this car here. I forgot.
I think that was the coolest thing. This is my personal experience with Casey. First time he shows up to the shop I think it was when you picked up your calipers.
Okay.
After we got them done, and I walk outside and he's driving what is that thing, a 94
'93 Dodge.
93 Dodge Dually. It's sitting out there idling in the parking lot, and I was like, okay, I like this guy already. I was like, this is my kind of people here. You know? Driving around in a Lambo, and then on the daily he's driving a 93 Dodge Dually. I was like, that is awesome.
Yeah, '93 Dually, 5-speed, extended cab, all original. My dad gave it to me. It's mine and my daughter's favorite vehicle.
That thing is a beast.
Yes.
I love that truck.
We love it too. And what gets it, I have a red bicycle, and I ride it all over our neighborhood. And then some people will see, or I'll be walking doing something and go into, we have some stuff, business stuff that's around the house area. And so I just ride my bike. And then a guy he saw me for like a year on my bike and never saw me on my car. Well, I was working on the car trying to do some tuning, and I took it on the pathway that I'd ride my bike. And then he's like, dude, I just always see you on your bicycle. I thought you were like some kid that was just riding around here and going to houses and stuff.
I am.
And then he's sitting there, he's like, kids, come check this out, man. This is the guy that's playing basketball with us on his bicycle. We thought he was like homeless.
Yeah, usually when you see a grown man riding a bicycle, it's there's usually they're homeless or they got too many DUIs.
No DUIs.
Unless it's a really, really good bike.
Yeah, it could be a really good bike.
I got one with it's kind of like tech. It's got the red sparkle frame, pegs, and I'm freestyle, man. It's red and black. And if my legs are too long now, I hit the handlebars, but I'm not getting a mountain bike. Not doing it. Can't do it. But yeah, so I'll be cruising on that, and the kids will look at me or something, or some little kid will be like, "Man, that's a cool bike." You know, next kid.
Stroke your ego.
Got my bicycle over here.
So you mentioned going back to Salt Lake for work. So what do you do? What's your background?
So I've done pipeline and facilities and just compressor stations and tank batteries, anything with salt water, high pressure gas, produced water. I do now. I've started out as a laborer.
Okay.
On the pipeline and a welder's helper in the plants, and me and my brother did. My brother still does plant work. I got out of it. It's kind of like gel. I don't like gel. I don't like when everybody tell me I can come in and I can leave. I got a little issue with that. I guess my brother's used to it. I don't know. But then I transitioned over in the pipeline and just started working as a helper and stuff, and worked my way up until now I'm a construction manager and do inspection, and that's what I was going up there was for some in-house training and seeing some buddies, and then probably getting back into it this year. There's some good projects that are supposed to be coming out.
Yeah, now that we've got a pro oil and gas administration.
Been at it 20 years now.
Yeah.
20
Have you
years.
really? Man.
Since I was 19.
I was gonna say since you were 12.
Yeah. I get that a lot.
That's what I used to tell people. I've been in real estate for 15 years since I was 12.
Yeah. No, I get
Of course, now I get the gray hair, so I look my age now.
I get it. Boy, my resume is longer than you are tall. That's great. You're still not doing it right. Obviously, you didn't learn. Yeah.
I bet that's challenging if you're the inspector going in and telling them stuff's not done right. And
I've been inspecting since my 20s, and sitting there telling someone that's been doing it since before I was born, like, hey man, you're old school. I get it. I'm just trying to tell you this is the way it's going. This is the rules. Oh, they go. It's just a job, man. I'm not coming to your house. Yeah.
But you're what, 39?
40.
40.
40.
You're 40.
Yep.
Yeah, you look young. So
Yeah.
yeah, you got to be.
I have to stay young. 4 daughters. I told them, y'all better look good because your dad's going to.
God, how many times a day you go to the gym?
Oh, none. I ride a bicycle.
You better start as they grow old.
Ride a bicycle and got my 3-year-old and car parts I run around with. Yeah, that or sim. Get my shoulder workout. Sim racing.
Yeah.
You do some sim racing?
Oh, yes. What in the
Yeah.
group?
Oh, you been in there?
Yeah, where you
I
been?
do.
Where you been?
Where you at? Where you
I
at?
don't go in the group. I need to. I need a license, don't I?
No, not in the group.
Not for us. Not for
Not
what
in the
we're
group.
doing. Actually, we were just talking about today, realizing we can add AI drivers in our group. So we need to do some races where we just have some AI.
We really suck already. I don't know if you'd want to put it even better than us. Oh, it's West Texas Sims, is it?
WTX Sim Racing.
Sim Racing on
There's
Facebook.
a Facebook page.
Yes.
And then, what are we on?
Every Wednesday.
Wednesday nights?
Yes. I won't be there tomorrow.
At 8:30, I think. Yeah. And
I
it's
need
always
to do
something
it.
different. We're not doing like normal, like last week we did
No, those trucks. for
off-road truck racing.
That was crazy.
But it was fun. I enjoyed it.
Oh, I've done the off-road
That was fun.
truck racing. Yeah, that wasn't bad. I can't do the dirt track. Dirt track's not even horrible. It's the NASCAR that gets me.
I hated the idea of doing NASCAR, and we did NASCAR trucks
Yes.
the other day. I had more fun than I expected.
Really?
It was cool.
The
It
dirt
was kind of
track-
cool.
The dirt track was hard because I had my max resistance up, and I'm like, God,
Yeah, you know,
Getting a workout.
I could feel the tires like.
And Aaron
Yeah.
had not programmed a button for a tear off, and so he had mud all over his
Yeah,
visor.
oh,
He
nice.
couldn't see anywhere he
Yeah.
was going.
Or there's a hood laying in the middle of the track.
Oh, yeah.
And his hood flew off.
Yeah,
and stuff.
hood flew up and was flapping. No, the
need to.
NASCAR stuff was more fun than I expected. Like you realize there's some strategy, and you figure it's just different.
I haven't even been on our sim since we've been in the new house.
Oh yeah.
Gage has been on it left and right. I mean, he spent yesterday. He was off school. He was on it all day long.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let
Yeah.
him in the group because it'll beat us.
Gage is fast. Gage is stupid fast.
No, let him in.
Me
It'll be fun.
and Aaron at the old house, we were running Formula One cars at Laguna Seca,
Okay.
and just doing everything we could, just trying to get the fastest lap. We were running like 4 or 5 laps at a time, and it was before Gage showed up. I think his mom dropped him off or something to the house. And we're all excited because we're, like a tenth of a second faster here. Or I was a second faster here, and then he got a second faster and stuff. Gage walks in, and we're like, "You want to get in on this?" "Yeah, I'll get in on this." Beat our lap, like the first lap by 4 seconds. We're like,
What are you seeing that I'm not?
yeah. I was like, "How in the world did you even do that?" He's like, "I don't know. You guys suck." I'm like, yeah.
Got to get on that one where you go from sim to car to track, and I'd sign me up on that. If I hit something big, and I will be on that.
We need to take the whole sim group one of these weekends up to Amarillo and do
Car racing, yeah.
kart racing.
Yeah.
Oh, they have a track up there.
They have a scale model of the Istanbul F1 track.
Oh,
there.
really?
Yeah. Which one?
Paved by the same people that did Coda.
Oh, wow.
That track right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that exact, but scaled down for carts.
The first time you go through, they call it the Four Horsemen,
Yeah.
which is that at the very, very top right, it's actually 4 corners.
I can see the.
Yeah, how there's steps. That is the scariest
You
thing
can't
you'll
take
ever
your
do.
car. You can't take your car on it though.
They do drift racing up there.
Yeah.
They do drift events up there, but as far as a car, it's just a little too small. I mean, you can get a car on the track, but to set it up for a turn and turn in and exit and stuff like that, there's just not
not
enough
wide
there.
enough.
Yeah.
I got you. Oh yeah, that would be fun. We'll have to
But
wait
yeah,
for that.
they have high speed carts up there. They're doing like Rotax 125 2-stroke carts, so they're like 90-mile-an-hour carts.
Yes.
They have to like qualify for and stuff like that. But then they have the regular rental cart stuff, and then they have the step up. I think they have 3 steps. I'm not sure. I think they have some faster ones, and then they have this. You have to qualify. You have to know what the hell you're doing
All I
to
see
get
is that
into.
video of the 2 carts where he hits it and it goes
Yeah.
flying in the air.
Yeah. Have you ever been kart racing?
Yes.
Like good
Yes.
competitive kart racing?
Yes, it's fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's-
I'm dialed in on that stuff.
That's what we're big into. Like I race a 100cc 2-stroke and Gage races. Well, he was on a 60cc 2-stroke, and then as he got bigger, actually went back to the 4-stroke stuff because he was too big. He's a big kid. He's a really big kid, so he was too big to race his age class. But then the step up, they didn't want to let him race the 100cc 2-stroke carts because they're like, this kid's 10 years old. No,
Yeah.
no, not happening. So they let him do the 4-stroke stuff, which he got in and really killed it right off the bat. But the kid is fast
awesome.
in a freaking cart.
He sees it whenever no one else does.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's faster. Well, now we took a whole year off, but when we quit last year, he was faster with a 4-stroke Briggs & Stratton motor than I was with a 2-stroke 100cc motor. I can't beat him.
He's got more straight line.
It's
That's great.
no, I mean straight. Like if we get on a straight, we're about dead nuts even because he's so much lighter than I am, but I'm in so much more powerful of a cart. So we're almost dead nuts even on the straightaways. The corners, I can't.
Wow.
I can't do it like he does. He's good. He's really good.
That's cool. I'll
But-
have to go check that out sometime then.
Yeah. Well, and even Adventure Park's got fast
They
carts
do now. Yeah.
I have not been there to the fast carts at Adventure Park yet.
I want to go do that.
We need an investor to buy Best Buy for us.
Yes.
The old one. So we can do an indoor-outdoor track there. Just letting y'all know.
You have talked to a friend of mine.
Yes, he's put.
Yeah.
He's put together like a whole business plan. He just needs investors.
If we do it, you could do a shut it off on bad days. So you just do indoor, and then have a roll-up door where you can hit the train
Yeah.
track.
Do you know Dustin? No?
Dustin?
De Leon?
No.
Oh, wow.
I don't know how you hadn't met him. Yeah.
I probably met him. in
He's
passing.
literally tried to run that in that building.
Oh,
He's
really?
Yeah, he's done everything he can to get. He's trying to get the money together and stuff like that to start that exactly what you just talked about.
Yep.
Don't know who he is.
Like he has a business plan together. He's got it all figured out
Maybe he
for
was
that whole
standing
thing.
behind me whenever I was talking about it.
Yeah, he's been working on that for
Yeah.
years now.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah,
Probably
I can't believe he just went down that road and like just went. Oh, it could be indoor, outdoor. Like,
Yeah. Just tell him, you know, a guy in a hoodie always, the one with always has a Red Bull or a Dr Pepper. You know?
yeah, that is crazy.
That's
That
me,
is crazy.
I'm always in a hoodie. Like when I told Chase I'd be dressed up, and he goes, "Well, wear your best hoodie." Hoodies are life, man. I like the cold weather for them.
Yeah.
Summertime.
Yeah.
I got to do kart racing in Brazil. I went for Jared's wedding back in August, and there was this indoor kart track. So it was at a mall. It was at this mall that was like picture like the Dallas Galleria, but with like the parking garage is like in the middle of this mall. So the mall's like built around the parking garage, and on like one level of the parking garage they had gas go-karts.
Wow.
In this parking garage, and so we went in there and did kart racing. It was absolutely awesome.
Did you do any racing in Vegas?
I didn't. No.
Chase
Is
is
it
fast.
really good?
Chase is fast in a cart.
I'm decent.
He started getting pretty fast.
As long as I
So
don't break a freaking rib.
we talked him into buying a cart and did most of the maintenance all for him. Like took care of it for him to the point that he got to the track and he could just jump in this thing. And he got really competitive. Like he was, well, that one race, I was going back and forth with him, and I'm like, "You're not supposed to be this fast." Like he got fast quick.
No.
So yeah, he's a sleeper in a kart. If we go kart racing, you take him out first.
Call me. We'll go.
Yeah. I've got one for you. Have you pre-run this rally yet? Going back to the rally.
Half of it. We did run half of it. But
Half of it?
yes, but I'm waiting till the mid-March to go and do a start to stop, run it hard, make sure everything's there, the pinpoints are there, because you got to do that. Because if something changes, like we had a road change that got washed out, well, that changed the whole original map, and you never know what's going to happen. Because we started this, like we said, we got 6 months and planned this out, and then so we just advertised it, and so your advertising is going to get a little heavier this week. Like we picked up Park Up Front, it's going to start advertising, and then some others that are coming on board also, and hit it real hard because we got our stragglers that are in there, and I wouldn't say stragglers, our early guys that are here. We got our spots. We got guys that are coming from Wisconsin and then from all over. Like, hey, we're trying to make it there, and from different areas in Austin and Dallas and stuff. And yeah, I'm gonna go rerun it and run it hard, like a solid start to stop with the timer, so that I know exactly the times and make sure it's all right. And that's what's hard, because you get there and you're timing yourself and something's not right, and then you got to detour quick and figure out what's gonna be there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is pretty. It's pretty gnarly. It sneaks up. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
If you're not paying attention, it's gonna sneak up on you for sure.
Now, this is something kind of that caught me by surprise, because my first rally was with him the other, a month ago, 2 months ago, something like that. Yeah, that Austin rally. And I couldn't believe how well it was put on. And like, I got to the end of it and I asked him, I was like, is everything like this? He's like, this is the first one I've been on like this. Like, this is totally new to me. And this guy, apparently he's on 500 or something. He's put on like 500 rallies.
They do a lot down there, so they got like so many track routes that are preloaded, and then where their starts and stops are, and all you got to do is like check your maps on them and see where they're at.
This guy, like, he's not part of the fast lane drive group. They bring him in on the outside, which obviously that's probably I don't know what he charges, but I would assume it's outrageous charge. This dude goes and pre-runs this thing like 5 times. Like, we had a paper that 1/8 of a mile down the road, there's going to be a pothole under your right front tire.
Yes.
Like, is this something that, are you going to get that deep into it? Are you going to,
Yes,
are you going to have like one guy out front this is your guy to follow? This is,
No, that your leader is usually who wants to be there.
Okay.
And if they want, if we come up with something and I have to work versus run it, then that's how it is. Then I'll shortcut down the route and get to where we need to go, which that happens, and just see how it all plays out. But yes, like we have spots, so we have a preloaded map for the morning. We get to our lunch spot, and then once you get your lunch stop, you send out you change it all. It's all in an app, and so there's an app chat. Everybody that's paid can be in that chat, which is not active right now. Not very active because it's still early.
Yeah.
Once you get like a week before the event, you can't shut it off. It's like, it's like, oh my God, stop. I mean, we got in there, my wife, whenever I was in this chat, and she's like, oh, no one's saying anything. The week before, turn your phone off. I was like, my battery's going dead. Because everyone's hitting up what they want, questions, answers, what they want. But yes, like, so there's preloaded pin drops, and there's going to be your digital one for your map that you can load, so you don't have to sit there and look. It automatically takes you on these routes. Then you're pre-detoured. But there will be cards that say, hey, number 6, there's some loose gravel here. Number 5, this is a gas stop, there's 93 here. This one's right here, the airstrip. There will be a card, laminated card, front and back.
Yeah.
The front says morning, the next one says evening. And then we get to our finish line and the celebration, which is going to be at Beers Mazda Volvo. They're going to have a pretty good little celebration spot for us there to accommodate everything, and then everybody, which is public, the airstrip's private, And the Cotton Court is private also, which we've got a parking garage there with security and stuff, and then the detail Kennedy will be there helping everybody out with whatever they need. Some cars
Yeah.
gotta go back to Dallas. There's a lot of different moving parts on this that are going on that are gonna work together. But being only one day, year one, roads these people have never been on. I mean, you never hear of anybody that's up here going on a rally in the Panhandle because they're just thinking, oh, this is just flat roads.
Flat roads and
And
straight for miles and miles and
we
miles.
went and tested it, and Chase is like, this is the best road in this whole county here. And he's like, let's turn around and go do it again.
Yeah.
And I was like, I couldn't even keep up with Chase. I was sitting there, I was like, I don't know. And then it's like, right turn.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're having fun with it. I mean, it's stuff you don't ever see. You're like, we never even knew this was out here.
Yeah.
And then meet the landowners, and they're all cool and tell us the history. They're like, or hey, whenever you get down here, watch for this or check this out. I'm like, thanks for the heads up. You know.
Yeah.
And I told them, I was like, we're coming through this time, this day, and if you want to sit out here and watch it go by or watch us go by, which isn't going to be too fast or nothing because it's in the area that is it, but it's real pretty. You think everything's cotton fields out here, but there's like some places where the trees cover the road and it's real pretty to go into.
Oh, there's some big canyons
Yes.
and stuff like that out here. Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yeah, and like whenever you get in there, that's where the cat and mouse starts. Like so, you say everybody leaves. We're doing the airstrip in the morning with the media team and breakfast, which is provided, and all the meals are provided, and we get out there and you get into these switchbacks that you weren't expecting to get in, and you got someone that's wasn't expecting it and slowing down, but you got 3 cars up here that are used to it. They're like, oh hell yeah, and so they go through there. Well, you just separated 10 seconds between y'all,
Yeah.
which is a lot, and then you do get on a straightaway, and then it's cat and mouse.
Yeah.
And then that's where the fun comes in.
Yeah.
It's cat and mouse, and then everybody's got radios. I mean,
Until rocks start flying.
Well, and that's what I was gonna say. So everybody's got radios. That was one cool thing that I noticed about that. At the beginning, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna want to listen to these people talk, you know. And about halfway into it, I was like, oh, I need to listen to these people talk.
Yeah.
And then
it wasn't a bunch of just chit chat.
no, it wasn't at all.
It was like helpful.
Yeah.
Because if you're on the airways and you're being dumb or joking around, I mean, they're not gonna like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't like it.
Yeah.
And you're sitting there at it. What's crazy is like if you're behind someone and they're talking and you're seeing what they're doing and you're like, there's no way I could be talking and doing that at the same time.
Yeah.
And that's all that's going through your mind. And then you're sitting there and you're like, my eyes are burning. And you're just like, I haven't blinked in like 5 hours.
Yeah.
That's when your co-pilot's sitting there, here, vising, blink, here, or your hands are on the guys had gloves, and I was like, way in the past, I was like, why do you need gloves? That's crazy. Why would you do that? And then I'm like, golf gloves, right and left.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm curious. Have you ever done a drive with Driving Adventures USA? This was the guy that did the one in Austin.
No.
And,
What's his name?
John.
Something.
Is John something. He actually just did a rally through the tail of the dragon.
Oh,
so
really?
he takes rallies all over the US.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I went
I didn't know
down
if you'd
there.
ever come across him.
No, we went from San Antonio to the Big Bend. We've been from San Antonio to San Marcos, did the Miata track there, and then raced that one. That one's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And it has like the most drop down, and I'm like, dude.
Where is it?
It's right outside of San Antonio in the Broncos area.
Oh,
it's a
okay.
Miata racetrack.
Yeah.
And we took our cars on there, and that was the first time I've ever been on a car right after I bought mine. And been on a racetrack and doing all that, and it was just like, roller coaster. I mean, checking that out, but it was cool. And we went just like back and forth to Blanco and all these. I mean, it's like Tales of the Dragon, but you do like Devil's Backbone or something, and then we meet like at the one of the courthouses or something, and everybody knows we're coming, so we meet there, but they don't know where we're gonna pop out at. That's the thing. You don't know where you're gonna pop out. That's why you don't give the route until the day of or right before. So make sure everybody's loaded up and have everything in check and fuel and air in your tires. Check all that stuff. I mean, it's not that you're super testy. It's just that the longevity, your tires are gonna get hot. You're gonna be driving. You're driving 400 miles in one day. I mean, you're not on the interstate. You're turning left and right, and so it's a lot different than what your normal travel is.
Well, and that's the biggest thing that I see difference wise between like the rally that we went on and what he's putting on is the fact that like this rally we stopped every major turn. Every major turn they stopped. Gathered up the whole group, everybody got together, and then you made the turn.
This felt like
And
a tour,
yes,
whereas what you're putting together makes me think of more like the Cannonball Run.
It's
Just a wild and crazy, go for it.
Here you
try
go.
to stay
Here's
together.
your route. Do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Make your own fun,
more
basically.
freedom.
And I like both aspects.
I do too.
Really.
I do too. I think a very well organized one is kind of fun when it's a whole bunch of people that may not really know what they're doing.
Yeah.
But then kind of a pick your own adventure.
Yeah, so Crown South, the Invitational that I went on, they had a 3-map choice. They had hard, medium, soft.
Oh, really?
What?
So they had like, so
Really?
we're leaving Louisville and you're gonna end up over in Tennessee or something. I'm just throwing this out there.
Yeah.
Like, so say you're there and you got 3 different interstates. So you have this one that's gonna take you 4 hours to do, and it takes you on back roads. You have this one that's gonna take you 3 hours, and you're gonna do some back roads and some highway. And you have this one's gonna take 2 hours, and you're gonna do interstate the whole
Straight
way.
the interstate.
Yeah, and then you got your different groups. I mean, you see 50 vehicles, and you're tracking their GPS to see where they're at. And you got different groups over there, and you figure out who you want to be with and who you're going to follow. And if you catch them at a gas station, some guys sit and wait. They're all right, let's go. Or some people they're like, I'm out. I'm going to be the first one to dinner. You know.
My mind goes directly towards I'm taking the hardest route,
Right.
and my goal is to get there the fastest. My goal is to win. That turns that into a race for me.
There are no winners in rallies. This is not road racing. This is not road
There
racing.
isn't a checkered flag.
No.
No.
My mind goes directly to
That's why you're not driving.
I know. That's exactly why
The only thing you're
I
gonna
stick
gain
to
is
track
a
driving.
parking spot.
Yeah.
and likely a speeding ticket if not arrested.
Yes.
Arrested. More likely. More arrested. We'll just go with arrested.
That's what was crazy is going across 5 states and knowing the different laws. We're told your car will be towed. You will go to jail.
Yeah.
Like, this will happen. And so we're just like cruising through. Where's that state line?
I'll tell you the
Yeah.
scariest is when you get into Arkansas and you see the signs that traffic is enforced by aircraft.
Oh yeah.
And they're serious in Arkansas. They don't mess around in Arkansas.
I can tell you, I can wholeheartedly tell you every state that doesn't mess around by driving truck. I drove truck for enough years that I've been in every state in the contiguous U.S. And I can tell you the ones that don't mess around.
Yeah.
There's a reason I don't go to Washington.
But they're also not going to arrest you for street racing in a rig.
No, but it's one of those things. If they take their trucking seriously,
Yeah.
they probably take their car driving seriously.
Yeah, for sure.
And yeah, it goes hand in hand for sure.
Yeah.
Well, these roads are back roads that they're not going to be. There's some highway, which is cool, but it's not like they're a whole town or something. The gas stops are in towns.
And we're in Texas. It's Texas.
Yeah. I just want this. Like, our goal is to have one day everybody's like, man, that was awesome. I could only imagine if we had 3 days of this, and then grow it to where it's easier, where it's more functional, because the price of everything it's pretty much flush. I mean, there's nothing making anything. It's all spent. You know, to get everything to where it's at. Everything we did is the nicest we can do here. And then next year, being I guess you'd say a producer is, you gotta outdo yourself from the year before.
Yeah.
I sit there and think about the guys, hey, we've done this for 10 years, Gold Rush. And they're super high entry fees. I mean, shoot, my entry fee was $7,000 to go.
Whoa.
That's just an entry fee. And just to do this, and that's not including my tires, my maintenance, everything, my wrap, my suspension, and all that stuff. I mean, we were just talking with Million Mile Mike. I talked to him a lot, and he's from Dallas, and he's like, he's going to Legends, and I'm like, man, it's so stacked. He's like, yeah, I'm up to 10 grand already, and I was like, oh, I know.
Yeah.
And I was like, I would be there with you as your co-pilot just to be half priced,
Yeah.
than everybody that's going to be there. I mean, I'm definitely going to go on one of those because everybody that it brings in there, the big guys too, and I mean, it's really fun when you have that audience. Like if you're with DD, they're on Gumball. I mean, that audience is there, and
Yeah.
I mean that's what we want to do is like have that audience at our finish line or our starting line, and we're working on getting the interstate shut down so that we can have your media coming under the bridges and stuff, and that we're working on still. I mean, a lot of this stuff. I mean, it happens the day before.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can plan all you want, but I mean, I always say you can plan a picnic, but you can't predict the weather.
Yeah. Yeah.
I steal that from Outcast.
Now you don't have to mention a name, anything like that. What's the most unique person you've met on a rally that you were just like, wow, that one stuck with me? Like that's whether it be just unique conversation, person that just became a lifelong friend, just anything like that.
It's more of the group that's there.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been on so many different ones, but the Crown guys it's a different group.
Yeah.
Like the ones that are in San Antonio, I was down there at some. They were pretty cool too. But like the ones that like really they follow up or hey, are you gonna be on this one? Or we're already entered. We're gonna do this. Your most feedback is with those guys, and like your first timers that are there. They're like, man, I bought this car and just put my first exhaust on it, man. I saw your car, and then I'll jump into another story on this though. But like, so I was pulling into the garage, and I was in the mid group, and so I pulled in. All the cars are parked in there, and y'all know how loud my car is. And I pull in there, and all the alarms start going off, and the security is like, "What is going on down here?" And then they're starting to figure out. I told one dude, they're like, "Hey, your lights are on, what's going on?" And everything's going crazy. We're like, yeah, we thought there was an earthquake going on, but we realized there's Casey pulling in the garage, and then, now I gotta get out of the shower and come turn off my alarm. But I mean, it would have to be the group, because nothing's gonna be the same. But
Yeah.
I mean, you got your guys that you get along with, and you may never see them again.
Yeah.
And then you have the ones that you see them every time, and then y'all just hang out on the tailgate after everything's done or dinner and stuff. So I wouldn't pinpoint it on one. It just depends. It's always different. It's super, super hard to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, to have someone, it'd be your co-pilot, and that would be there with you or something like that. So it's really, really hard. You get in a group and you're like, man, it's just not vibing.
Yeah.
Or you get into one and you're like, can't get enough.
Yeah.
But I haven't really had one that it's like I'm not vibing. Usually all that stuff separates itself, and I haven't had a bad experience on one yet.
Yeah.
I'll put it that way. Besides having a bubble on tire.
Favorite rally?
The Tail of the Dragon.
Yeah.
I've never been on it. Never been that far east and stuff, and it blew my mind.
I've been on a motorcycle on the Tail of the Dragon twice.
That is
and
crazy.
It is insane.
Yeah.
I did not know what I signed up for when I was 17 years old. I can tell you that.
Dude, it's crazy. Even the roads around it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, it's
It's not even just that road. It's the other one. What I like is whenever you're getting, it's like the NASCAR. Man, you get in your float, and you're just floating with it, and you have your windows down and the radio. Everyone's like, "I'm gonna be blasting this music." No, you have silence, and you listen to your car, and you listen to what's going on.
You try to survive.
And it's like you're in a movie, and it's like, and you're showing your memories and stuff. That's what happens, man. It's like you go through a portal.
Yeah, there's nothing else. I think that was the best probably part of that whole thing. Second year especially, because I went on what they call an iron butt ride, where we rode our motorcycles from Michigan to the Tail of the Dragon, went through the Tail of the Dragon it was the next day, then rode all the way back to Michigan.
a long ride.
Yeah.
That's like ours. I drove mine from here to Chicago. My wife flew in and then jumped in. And I was there for 2 days of not even getting in my car.
I did the first one. On a rigid frame Harley. No suspension. Well, front fork suspension.
Dude,
That's
those
it.
roads are so bad.
Yeah.
I mean, and my suspension's loose because of my air cups. And so sometimes it's like, bam. I mean.
Yeah. Second year I had bought. That was the year that I bought my Aprilia. I bought a Aprilia RSV Melee, and yeah, so much better. So it was much funner, but it was still like, yeah, that's, you better know what you're doing. You better know the equipment you're driving, riding, whatever you're doing on the tail of the dragon. You don't go up there as a complete rookie per se with the equipment and go and expect to have fun up
I
there.
drove it twice, just in moderation before, while everyone was at lunch.
Yeah.
I was just driving it to feel it. And see
Really?
what it felt like. Yes, I pre-ran it. And just to see it, just so I could be in that group and hang with them. And once you get in motion, like I said, don't hit your brakes. Don't do that. And sleep the next night, the night before.
Yeah.
That's one thing I say, man, just get enough rest. Because we would leave at 8 and we'd get in at 6 o'clock that evening and just be going nonstop.
Yeah.
Blowing through fuel.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good stuff.
I tell you this, from before there was nothing on the passenger side of my car. Now there's motion sickness pills and earplugs. Yeah. That's over there. They're like, "What's this for?" Oh, you'll see.
Yeah. Well, and I can imagine, like, even going through, especially the 4,000-mile rally, it had to make you to the point that when you got home, you parked your car in the garage and said, "I know that motherfucker like the back of my hand."
Oh yeah.
Like, it gives you a totally different sense of driving your car to the point that you're like, "Yeah, I know what that can do."
Yeah, and you get like driving it so long you forget you're in it.
Yeah.
Like I'll just be driving. I'd be at nighttime somewhere and someone's pulling up next or doing something, or I go to get gas. Open the door and I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm not in my truck."
Yeah.
I'm not in my Tahoe.
Yeah.
I was like, I gotta park on the other side like a dummy because my gas cap's on the other side.
Yeah.
So now let me pull around again, do stuff. But yeah, it bypasses you.
Yeah.
Until it's time to fix it, and then you know exactly where you're at.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about doing a cannonball run?
No, I haven't thought about that.
No, that's a bucket list for me.
I don't know.
Not necessarily to go break the record, but just to drive. I want to drive the cannonball route.
Maybe if I was like 80 and they're like, "Dude, this guy's old. We can't put him in jail."
Well, there was a documentary not that long ago that they did on it. Well, I guess it was probably a while ago now because I watched it years ago that they did it and went through it and like tried to. Did they try to beat it?
They did it in a rental car. They rented a car and fixed it out. Or built
Yeah,
it
I mean,
for
there's a
it.
bunch
I didn't see that.
There's a bunch of records. They have a record for an electric vehicle. They have I think a rental car. Just go like, obviously the ones that break the real record are building out a very specially modified vehicle. Like right now the record holder for just a internal combustion normal drive record is an Audi. I think it's an A8 that was modified to look like a Ford Taurus undercover cop car.
Yes.
So they did body modifications to make it look like a cop car, and they put additional gas tanks in it so it could hold like 100 gallons of gas. And yeah, that currently holds like the official record, but they have all these different records for different types of vehicles, motorcycle and.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look it up to find that.
I don't know.
There was some kind of
about,
documentary about it. They went on it. They were trying to break it, and they were showing like how much. A lot of it was like how much it would cost to even like do it without getting a ticket and without this, that, and the other thing. And they had drones flying above, and they hired pilots at certain points and.
Yeah.
All kinds of stuff to like pre-run everything, let them know where there was cops, let them know
Need
there
for
were
Speed style.
Yeah, it was some extraordinary documentary that I watched. I don't even remember what it was called or where it was that I saw it, but I was like,
Interesting. I'm gonna have to
like
check
this
that
is
out.
wild.
Yeah.
Just to
Well, they also broke the record during COVID, but then it was argued that wasn't a real record because it was during COVID when there was nobody on the roads.
That is a good point. I mean, that's the best time to break it, though.
It's brilliant. It's
Yeah,
smart
it's
to go take
very
advantage
smart.
of it.
Little complete sidebar. I took a vacation up to Michigan during COVID. It was the best vacation I ever took because we stayed in the nicest hotels that you would ever imagine. Like we stayed in what would normally be like a $600+ a night hotel in it's like Indiana or something for $50. We had the whole entire hotel to ourselves.
That's the way flights were.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like there was a rooftop pool and hot tub and everything on the roof, and it was like tallest building in this city that we were at. I'd have to look and see where we were at, but I was like, you have got to be kidding me. This is like nobody would travel during COVID, and I was like, yeah, we're going to Michigan. We're gonna go live it up. went to a buddy's house and just stayed for like a month and a half and just had the time of our lives during COVID.
That's cool.
That was great.
That's fun.
What other questions you got?
Any other
What else we got?
thoughts or questions?
We went through past rallies. Future plans for your car. What you got?
Probably a rebuild coming up.
Rebuild coming up?
Yeah, but I'll do it bulletproof. Keep it stock. That way it just keeps running.
Yeah.
Eventually I'll get a twin turbo Huracan and use that as a powerhouse.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna keep this one. Probably I'll change the wheels. Probably rebuild the engine and brakes and rotors and done.
Is this a car that you keep for the rest of your life?
Yeah.
No matter what, just this
Yeah, I'll just
this
keep
is
it.
the one that this is the 67 Shelby
This is right beside the white Dodge.
in the back. Gotcha.
Yeah. Those
Yeah.
two are gonna be around for a while for sure. The rawness and everything. I see different builds and stuff, but I just want to keep this one about.
And it's
where
it's a 5 liter,
yes
12,
V10.
10,
Yeah.
10.
Five
Okay.
point oh.
V10, 5 liter.
They had those for 2 years and then went to the 5.4. No, 5.2.
Okay.
That's where they rebuilt them and made the Huracan.
That was another question that I had kind of piggybacking to this one is what made that model unique?
From what I'm told, I'm not a connoisseur specialist in it, but like that's like the last design that Lamborghini had on the car before Audi took it completely over and built the 5.2.
Okay.
So I guess the blueprint. I could be wrong. Don't kill me. But
No, we ain't going to hold you to it.
there's people out there that got
I throw shit everywhere.
they got machetes everywhere. You said the wrong thing.
Yeah. No, that was an 8 mm bolt, not a 10.
Yeah, you're so wrong, rookie.
Yeah.
Shut up.
We're not that podcast.
But I believe it's the last blueprint of like from Lamborghini.
Okay.
Before they sold out or transitioned, and then they changed everything. And then you have all your Audi parts and stuff in there, and then it's like Lamborghini and Audi is about the same thing.
Well, and it was still a mix in those years, somewhat, wasn't it?
The transition on it, because
Were they transitioning during that time? I'm guessing.
they developed it, and that's actually what brought Lamborghini out of whatever downfall they were having was the Gallardo.
Yeah. Yeah, because even your calipers, when I ordered the parts for them, I ordered them from Audi because I couldn't get them through Lamborghini.
Jaguar parts or something.
Yeah, it was kind of a mix of things through that year, but yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, that's just some things you don't go cheap on. Those brakes, rotors, and tires, and your bolts and stuff that are actually holding that thing together. And I do all my work, almost all of my own work. And whenever you drive it the way you drive it, and then whenever you have to work on it, you're like, this is all that's holding this thing together.
Well, that's what killed me. So when we were rebuilding your calipers, the guy that was up front at the time, not with us anymore, he was asking me, he's like, man, do we really have to go get new pistons and new everything for these brake calipers to do this for this guy? Like, can't we just get the rubber replacements and stuff like that? And I was like, no, we can't. Because I said, for one, I don't know the guy. I said, two, I don't know how he drives this. But if he drives it anywhere remotely close to where it's supposed to be driven, yeah, we're replacing everything. Like
Yeah.
there's no compromising that at
We
all.
had that on my tires looked good before we went on there, and my wife was like, "Why do you have to buy new tires?" And I was turning in the Dragon, and I was like, "You hear that tread? Aren't
Yeah.
you glad we got tires?" And she was like, "I'm so glad we got tires."
Yeah. Yeah.
We didn't go cheap on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
was
it's
fun.
definitely that's what we've come to find out about working on these cars like we do. All the time is there's things that you compromise on, and it's not because it's a different car. It's because it's used for a different purpose.
Like some things are built for that reason.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
then you go, I'll step in on this one. Like the reason I do a lot of my own work is I've been burned a few times.
Yeah.
And like, hey, I saw your car. Where are you going? I'm like, I'm not in my car. What's going on here? Or put the wrong tire size on. Oh, we do this all the time. Well, now I got fender rub. Or I don't know how to. I thought you built this. I gave you $6,000, and now look at this. And
Yeah.
well, this is what it's going to cost this now, or something. But I do it all myself, and I have GPS on mine. Or I know when that key goes into ignition, and I show everyone that before they get it. When my car was getting wrapped, I was like, look at this. I was like, you start this car up and rip it and bend a rod or spin a bearing. Get ready. I was like,
Yeah.
the bill's coming.
Yeah.
And I was like, I know the key was in at that time. And it tells me everything that's going on. And I was like, look, I'll show you while you do it. Go put that key in, and my phone will go off. And they know exactly what's happening. They're like, oh,
Yeah.
well, we won't mess with that car.
Yeah. Yeah.
It kind of like turns all that. I tell everyone, I was like, dude, don't take this personal. I was like, but I'm letting you know that this is it. I don't really trust anybody, but I'm letting it be here. And it's just because of what it is. And it is a car, but it's the rarity, you know.
Well, yeah, not even the rarity. It's one of those things that I'm even the same way with my tools in the back. It's like
They'll walk off.
yeah, it's one of those things that okay, I got to the point now that you want to borrow a tool, cool. Check it out. There's a checkout list right there. Write your name, number, all your information down. Yeah, I know you work right there for me.
Good set of
But
socks,
guess what?
$400.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things that over time, if you are done wrong or anything like that, like it takes a long time to build that trust, and it takes a long time to, you've worked essentially your whole life to get to where you're at, to where, hey, I own a Lamborghini, and why would you do anything to throw that away?
Right.
It's.
Well, and it's something I've thought about this in the last couple of weeks with automotive shops or any industry. You can not specific to car repairs, but you have a crossroads between people who are very knowledgeable in what they're doing, whether it's construction or cars or whatever else. So I bring my car to a shop because I trust, because they have the expertise. I don't have the expertise, but they also are more prone to making mistakes because they do it so often. Sometimes they get onto autopilot and they're, putting it back together, and they just, oh, did I torque that? I don't remember if I torqued that nut to the right. That's why checklists are important. That's why pilots have checklists that they have to go through, because you can get into that rhythm where it's just like, I don't even remember if I did that. But I don't want to work on my own car because I don't have the expertise. So I don't have the knowledge to do it to the right way. But a professional could also make a mistake because they get into that autopilot, and they may have missed something.
Yeah, or a loose bolt, and then put a bolt.
So there's like a crossroads of having checks and balances to make sure things don't get overlooked because the mechanic was on autopilot. But you also want someone who actually knows what they're doing, because even if I go Google and research and learn how to do something, I'm still not sure if I'm going to actually do it the best if I'm working on it myself. I may not be able to actually do it to the very best because I don't have years of experience, whereas a professional is going to have those years of experience to know, oh, actually, you don't want to do it that way. You want to do it this way, because I've done 20 of these, and I've seen this with you of explaining to me, just because this is the industry standard, actually, I've done enough of this to know this is the way you want to do it, not this way.
Yeah.
But again, everybody's prone to get into their routine and then suddenly realize, oh, actually, we missed that because we were just going through the.
See, I think. Oh, go ahead.
The biggest thing that I've seen, and I've just ran across it with a new guy. I won't mention any names or anything else, but a new guy that we have in here, and it's actually a good thing. It's a great thing. Is working on your car actually. On your car is he's helping me out with it, and he grabbed an impact socket the other day. I was like, no.
Mm-hmm.
He goes,
hand tighten all this.
what do you mean? No. I said, you don't impact socket anything on this car.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he's like, really? I was like, no. He's like, well, what does it matter? This is the same bolt as this bolt over here. I said, I understand that, but that part you cannot buy. Or it's going to take a really long time to get if you do mess it up.
Yep.
This part over here is available at O'Reilly's.
How long did those pistons take to come in from Italy?
Oh, they were forever.
Yeah, from Italy.
Forever. Yeah, and then having to use sharp picks on rubber and not penetrate the rubber. Yeah, that was a whole nother issue.
So I think you're on autopilot, because I always think back to whenever that Huracan and Mustang were racing at 2K, and that Mustang went across and hit the wall, and then everyone's like, yeah, that Mustang, man, that's crazy, but did you see that Lambo stop? I mean, like, instant shutdown, stop.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, holy cow, look at stuff. Those cars are built to go fast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And if you would have shortcutted that stopping ability right there, I mean, if you would have like half-assed anything on that's what it was built to do too, is stop so instantly after ripping it. There's no telling how fast he was going, and then is dead right there while that car went through and nothing happened to it. I mean, I'm sure he needs some new rotors and stuff after that.
Yeah.
Because he was ripping him and slammed on him, but they did their job.
But we just went through that. Actually, it's funny you say that, because it just was today, that conversation. I was like, just so you know, everything on cars like these that you help me on, for one, gets blue Loctited. For two, gets torque spec looked up. For 3, we hand tighten everything, and then we go through and torque it. And he's like, you do all that on? I said, that's why I work on these cars. I said, if you're helping me on these cars, this is what you're doing, because you're doing exactly what I'm doing on these cars.
Something aluminum and see what happens.
Yeah, exactly. That's the other thing, is who makes aluminum bolts? S5, man.
No, all that.
Weight savings.
We had to order so many freaking aluminum bolts for that S5
That's funny.
that we did. Oh,
Really?
it was just insane.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, there's every bell housing bolt, every like motor mounts. Motor mounts are aluminum bolts.
Is the block aluminum?
Yes.
Is it really?
Everything's aluminum on the car, including the bolts.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
But yeah, no, it's just working on that's the biggest thing between cars like you guys are driving and cars like everybody else is driving, is just it's not that we don't spend the same attention to detail on every car.
It's just not geared for performance. It's not geared to go 200 miles an hour.
Exactly. You're not going 200 miles an hour on a daily basis. You're not all of a sudden, running in a rally and a car stops in front of you and you need to absolutely have every single inch of braking power that's available to that car. And, you're not running track days that you're boiling your brake fluid and, everything that comes into a performance car that people don't realize. It's like, oh man, why does this guy only do this car? Why does this guy, why do you have this guy working on my car? Well, this guy does this and this guy does this. It's just a whole different, it truly is a whole different world when you really break it down and look at it from working on your, I don't want to stereotype, but Honda Civic or Ford Focus or anything like that.
Your daily driver versus
any daily driver compared
they're different tools for different purposes. Right?
Yes.
So your daily driver is going to. In fact, that's a good way to look at it. Is you've got vehicles like a Honda Civic that'll drive 200, 300,000 miles.
Million.
Good luck getting
Yeah.
200,000, yeah, a million miles. Good luck getting 100,000 miles out of a Lamborghini before you have to start doing some significant work.
I'm
to
at
it. Like
50,000.
Yeah.
A hard 50,000.
Yeah.
After it sits and goes, sits and goes,
Yeah.
sits and goes.
So as quality as it is, it's not designed for longevity without doing a lot of maintenance and taking. There's a lot of things that it's just they're different tools for
finicky.
different purposes, right?
Yeah.
What gets me is the electrical system. Put LED lights in and the car won't
Oh
start.
yeah. Yeah.
I changed my license plate light and
Right.
nothing works now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the satellites didn't link up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just knowing what you're getting and
Yeah.
knowing what you're buying and understanding, okay, I'm not just it's one thing to spend the money for this to get over the sticker price, but then to know what you're getting into to owning something like that.
Well,
and
that gets
maintaining
me.
it.
What I get asked a lot is I had a guy ask me. He's like, "So when did you decide to buy yours?" I was like, "I am not the person to ask for financial advice."
Yeah, people are like, man, you have nice cars. You must
Yeah.
do really well. No, I'm just really irresponsible with money.
I had no job and bought my truck brand new.
Yeah.
I'm not that person, but I do have a good job. I mean, I don't put my family into a bad spot or anything
Sure,
like
yeah.
that most of the time.
Most of the time.
Briefly, maybe.
Yeah, briefly. Do I test the waters? Yes.
That's what my wife says. She says you can keep buying cars as long as we know the electricity stays on and,
Yeah.
and we don't get it kicked out of our house.
No, the guy asked me, he was like, "So I'm saving up. I want to get a Porsche. I want to do this and one day and do that." And I was like, he goes, "What do you recommend?" I was like, "Man, I didn't recommend anything." And I was like, "But I tell you this." I was like, you hear all these guys that give motivation speeches and tell you what to do and what gives you drive and everything. If you go buy the car that you are in love with, that costs more than you can afford, you are going to have more motivation than you have ever wanted in your life." And I said, "You are going to do everything. You're going to sell your couch that you sit on every day to have that car. You may not even be able to drive it, but it's going to sit there." And so
It's funny that
because you don't have
was the
insurance.
same. It's funny that's exactly how it worked when I got married.
Yeah. No,
So-
you probably won't even have insurance, but you have that car, and you're gonna look at it. And I go, "You're gonna do everything you can." And he goes, "I'm so getting a divorce."
It's funny you say that because I got myself in this was my big story in life, realizing that you're living with not within your means,
Right.
and how to learn to do that. So I was 18 years old, probably no later than 18 years old. I had just bought a brand new Dodge Dakota because my souped up Ranger on nitrous needed a long block. So I was paying for that to be done while I was working. And this is as an 18-year-old kid, and I did this all on my own.
I heard the story.
Did you?
I listened to that one.
Yeah. Dirt bike. Had a brand new dirt bike because I was, of course, racing motocross. Had another brand new bike that I bought to qualify for the Nationals for Loretta Lynn's. And then had my Aprilia sport bike. Yeah, I was 18 years old and under an Aprilia sport bike. That was a big mistake. I test drove it from the dealership that I worked for. Kind of broke something, so I decided to buy the motorcycle. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what
You
else?
decided or they decided?
I decided, but unfortunately, I had good enough credit at the time was the deciding factor. I had a snowcross snowmobile that somebody talked me into racing snowcross that year. So I had just I had my grandmother's garage piled full of shit. I mean, a lot of stuff. And at the time, I was 18 years old. My grandmother took care of my finances, and so I'd get my paycheck every week and I'd give it to her, and she'd pay all my bills and she'd give me what was left at the end of it. Well, by the time I got the Aprilia, that was the breaking straw. She gave me like $30. And I was like, well, where's the rest of my paycheck? She goes, oh, it went to your bills. She goes, you gotta figure, you're 18 years old. You have insurance on 6 things. You have loans on 5 things.
I got $1,000 car.
Yeah, no.
$800 insurance.
Never factored the insurance thing in there at all.
Could have 2 vehicles if it went for insurance.
Yeah, when I was buying the Aprilia, I'm going, well, this costs this much. This is this much. This is this much. This is this much a month. Yeah, I got this. I'll have like $50 at the end. I'm good. Didn't have the gas to put in my truck to get to work. So I drove my motorcycle to work every day because I was like, oh yeah, I got this beat. Didn't have the gas to put in my truck to go put it into my motocross bike to go do the sport that I loved. So yeah, it was a nightmare. Needless to say, there was a fire sale on everything. Yeah, that was my economics lesson learned.
That's funny.
I went the opposite direction. I was raised only pay cash and only drive, a car you can pay cash for cheap. Problem was that I got bored and I would go through about a car a year, and every car I would buy, I'd buy for $2,000 to $5,000, and then I'd go put like $5,000 to $7,000 into fixing it up to make it as good as it possibly. I would end up putting way too much money into these cars because I would take an old car and try to make it as new as possible.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is that completely changed my attitude to the point that I didn't finance anything for 20 years. Like nothing.
Cold
Nothing.
turkey.
Yeah. I quit cold turkey to the point that if I couldn't pay cash for it, I wasn't owning it.
Yeah.
That's
good.
I went
That's
down
good.
a wrong. Whenever I was real young, I was diagnosed with some real serious stuff, and it was a case of I may not be here tomorrow.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna live today.
Yeah.
You had YOLOism?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I may not be here tomorrow. Still here.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we got all this stuff. What are we gonna do with it? I don't know. Let's wait till tomorrow. That's funny.
Yeah.
What else? What other topics y'all got?
I don't know.
I think we've covered just about everything we wanted to. Jay?
No, your
Question?
special question. Your
Oh, yeah.
special question.
Yeah.
Dodge.
It's wrong answer. It's Sunday, 2:00 to 5:00. What are you doing?
Hanging out with my kids.
Yeah.
Probably if it's summertime, where me and my daughters are in the shop, or we're playing in the pool or doing something. I mean, I'm big on family.
Yeah.
So I'm
good.
always hanging out with my kids. I mean, my youngest one's a little animal, but that's the one everyone sees that's sitting beside me in the truck or sitting beside me in the car, going to the car meets, or plans on taking a vehicle and decides she doesn't want to get up. And but yeah, that or soccer. We're real big in traveling soccer right now.
Right on.
League with the 10-year-old, and but yeah, usually at home or. Unless we got something to do. I mean, we live by calendar because we're so busy with all the businesses and stuff. So
Yeah.
mainly my wife's stuff, not mine. I'm like stay-at-home dad.
Right on.
No, but yeah, usually at home, hanging out with the kids, unless someone calls me up or so wants to hang out or come over, we cook out, or I mean Sundays we really use that for home.
Yeah.
Or going somewhere or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
we take a break, try to take a break. If that, I mean, we do event work, so if there's a Sunday event, we're doing that. But like I don't know, yeah, just at home with kids.
Any
Hanging out
other
with
hobbies
kids.
outside of cars?
I used to team rope. I still have horses. I still rope here and there with my friends. I did that full time when I was younger, and then no, not really. Just cars now. That's keeping me alive. You know?
Right on.
Yeah, we got a Mustang that we're working on. We just figured out that we got to rebuild the engine. So
How is that going? I keep meaning to ask you about that because you were talking about that a year and a half
I
ago
know, it's
when we
been
met.
Trying to get it off the lift. So we got it not running, and then put a transmission in it, and put an exhaust on it, and got it to run. It had a bunch of leaks. changed all the leaks, everything. The block was clogged, and got it to where we figured out how everything was. It got a lot of new components for it, and then it's got a bent rod or something in it, and so me and my uncle are gonna rebuild it.
What year is it? Fox body?
89.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's my wife's cruiser.
I've got a whole rotating assembly out there.
Oh really? We may have to talk then.
Mm-hmm.
Go down to 50%, not 100%.
I've had one sitting there for 5 years that I have meant, because I am a 302 guy wholeheartedly. I bought a whole assembly that I tore down. It was a carbureted model that I tore down, and it ended up being a bad motor. What was it? It was bored out too much. It was bored 80 over, and the cylinders were bad.
I think this one's stock. It's got headers on it and stuff, but I mean, we're just getting it to where it can run. I mean, you can drive it, but it's not there.
Yeah.
You can tell.
This one was bored 80 over. It was too far out, and you couldn't go anymore. You can't go any more on a 302 block. So I was like, man, I'm stuck. I got all these parts and everything else. Well, a good friend of mine, he's like, man, I got a good rotating assembly if that's all you need. And I was like, yeah, that's all I need. He's like, here you go. Sold it to me, and I haven't touched it in 5 years. It's sitting on an engine stand back there.
We'll have to look at it, check it out.
I haven't even popped the freaking oil pan on it yet. It's just, literally, I got it and threw it on an engine stand. And like I said, it's been sitting in the shop for like 5 years. So we might have something for you.
No, we're wanting to get that one to go. It'll be another Coffin Cars.
Yeah.
Ride to go there. Take the white Dodge. Take the Lambo. Try to change it up. Haven't had the Blackwing out there much. That's kind of my wife's still on that.
We haven't even talked about that. This guy's sitting over here with the Blackwing. That is a beautiful, beautiful car.
It's crazy.
What year is that?
That's a 22.
22 model.
Yeah. 22. Yeah.
Tell us about that thing.
that thing, I have tested limits on that thing. It is crazy. When that thing launches, I mean, it's so underestimated.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like you got guys that are trying to hit 500 horsepower on an engine, and these are coming stock with 700 and Michelin's on there and track mode, and I've been in trouble for it. Completely sideways.
Are we doing anything to that thing?
No.
Why not? Exhaust? Nothing.
I don't know.
Can't talk her into anything.
She wanted to at first until it's like she likes the quietness because.
But it's got a Valvetronic system, doesn't it?
Now. Yes, yeah, it has V mode and all that on it. That Blackwing is it was crazy. The first one I saw was Rich Post Malone's dad had one. He had two Blackwings. They were black, and those were the first ones I saw. I think they wrecked one and kept one. Something with it.
Smaller pulley, let's.
Yeah, you could do another pulley on it, and we were actually looking for an AMG. I was talking her into that just to have an extra vehicle, and then we went up there and she saw that blue car, and she's like, "Where's the keys?" And I was like, "Oh, it's over now."
What's the engine in the black one?
It's a 6.2 with a supercharger.
Is it an LT engine?
Yeah,
Yes, that would be an LT. God, I'd be lying if I told you the number. I think LT4 maybe, with a supercharger on it.
It's probably the same. That's LT4's in the C8 Corvette, isn't it?
Yes.
So it's the same engine, just with a supercharger on it.
Yeah.
Oh, I smoked this brand new C8.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Guy didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
Lined it up, and we got up there. I let him take off, and then I just smoked him and he went to the parking lot.
Yeah.
They just need to make a 4-wheel drive version.
Dude,
If they made a 4-wheel drive version of that,
yeah.
that'd be insane.
Yeah, it'd be like those F-150s that are
Yeah.
kicking everyone's ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just
And
straight
then,
up coyote.
and then they need to make a wagon version, and then they make a 4-wheel drive wagon version. That would be the ultimate.
Right up Chase's alley. Put all the kids in it and go have fun.
Yeah, that's when your buddy's having a bad day. Say, "Come on, buddies, we're all going out together."
You need some rear-facing seats in that.
Yeah.
That's what those
I want
camera
to
crews
experience 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds. Back facing backwards.
Trying to not break the back window.
do. Who put the surfboard on?
Yeah.
All right.
That thing's nasty.
Well, I think we've exhausted everything that we
I
can
think so.
talk about.
If not, we're gonna have him back because that was a good time.
Yeah, it was. Thanks for coming on.
I'll add on that one thing. Like, so you get around a lot of guys that are like really known people, and so the one thing I've learned in here, I was gonna throw this in here for people that don't know. Like when you're approaching people, like you got these some guys that are like really big names, and they have a lot of haters, so they're on guard, and you like take that in consideration that they have to. It's not them being mean or an asshole. It's just they got so much stuff they got to cover and watch what they say and watch what they do because of their profile and stuff. And like you'll see some guy you don't even know him. He's just got some sweet car, but it's somebody that has had a lot of stuff and influencers.
Right.
You got that. I mean,
I think that happens early on.
Yeah,
That's what I was gonna say. Like I can say that I run into that in certain places. Like I'm out grocery shopping and stuff like that, and people approach me, and I get to the point that, as bad as it is, like, man, I'm trying to get my groceries and get out of here.
yeah. So try not to be rude, but I'm trying to go over here. Or
Yes.
something.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep. I know exactly where you're going with this.
Yeah, the whole deal. You can afford it. No, I can't afford it because I have this. If I
Yeah.
didn't have this,
Yeah.
I never thought of it that way. Or, gas stations, or you just roll up on someone, man, tread lightly and just be nice and stuff, and just respect that. That's probably something that they put everything they have into it, and that's their pride that they have, and don't bash on it or give them a chance.
Attitude is everything.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer in that. Like I've had people come up to me on a bad day, and all of a sudden they they recognize the truck, and hey, I want to talk to you about this build, and it's like, it's 6:30 at night. I'm trying to get home. I'm trying to get home to my family and stuff. Yeah, like, let me give you a card. Get a hold of somebody tomorrow during business hours. But somebody rolls up and has the right attitude. Man, I'll sit there and talk to them for an hour and a half. Like it just doesn't matter. Like if somebody has that good attitude, like, man, can I ask you this question? Or I've been dying to ask this question to somebody or something, and has that good attitude, that lightheartedness to them that you can't avoid that. They're just good people, and you want to, yes, it's inconvenient for you, and yes, it's, it's taking a little bit of time out of your day, but then again, like, that person's just as nice.
Yeah,
like
they're people.
Yeah,
they're
being nice to me. Yeah.
Could have made it. Could have got lucky. Who knows? You never know.
Yeah.
I'm that Saturday guy. I'll have an idea. Come that Saturday, 8:00. You're at dinner. It's your anniversary. And hey, I know it's late, but I just got this idea. Answer me on Tuesday.
Yeah.
I know it's Saturday. I'm gonna forget, so I have to send it now.
Yeah.
Tell your wife said hi. I'll buy you dinner.
Yeah. I love that enthusiasm with the car world. Like it goes 100% like that. Like there is times that, we've gotten 10 text messages from my personal phone while we're sitting here doing the podcast, and that's people that are, the near and dear people to my heart that are, yes, they're customers, but on that other token, they've kind of become family through the whole process of building their car, and I know they don't overstep their boundaries, but it's something that, I'm going to get back to you when I get back to you. They're not going to get negative about that in any way or shape or form or anything like that.
No, usually like 99% of the time, if you're just cool and you're like, hey man, just want to check it out, and you're like, go for it. I got about 5 minutes I can give you.
Yeah.
That's usually how it goes. 90% of the time you'll get lucky with that, or it's like, man, I totally would. Here's my website. Check this out. Follow us if you catch us at another meet or something. And then it attracts followers.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, go check out Rosso Rally.
Yes.
How can they find out information about Rosso Rally?
Biggest one is Instagram, rosso.rally. We're Rosso Rally on Facebook, and we are now live on Park Up Front as Rosso Rally Club also.
Cool.
And you can get entries on there too. So you can enter through the website, or you can do it on Park Up Front, which we just partnered with.
Excellent.
Real quick. So you guys got 50 openings.
Yes.
Okay. So
Not anymore.
that's
There's some filled.
Well, the 50 total is all
Yes.
you're letting in. So that's what I was trying to. I meant to get to that earlier.
Yes.
That there are limited spots. Once it's sold out, it's done. It's something that if you want to go experience that and you want that, that experience, you're going to have to sign up soon because there is
Sign
a
up.
limited
Get-
amount of
Get your buddy and
spots.
split it.
Yeah.
It's 2 people in 1 car. I mean, you can get your buddy and split it and go and enjoy it and hang out.
And I would highly advise you have a co-driver. Period.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's
A
awesome.
co-driver that knows what the hell they're doing.
Hold my rebel.
Yeah,
I'm gonna quit saying rebel. Man.
yeah. 400
Yeah.
miles by yourself's that's a long day.
Yeah. And I mean, you get into the twisties and stuff like that, and you want to know hazards that are coming up, or you want a second set of eyes and stuff like that. You want somebody that's going to be focused as much as, maybe not as much as you are, but
For sure. Yeah.
somewhat.
Rest, definitely rest.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
Thanks for joining us.
think that's
Join
it.
us next time. We'll have another surprise guest.
Cool.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
100. Thank you all.
All right.